Hello and welcome. So today was my first proper session of the week. Ended up doing a press session. I did do a bit of a deadlift session yesterday where I worked up to 330 kilos for sets of 2 and 3. Just wasn't feeling 100%, so there wasn't much of a video to make. But I do have deads tomorrow, so should be able to fix everything up. So today I started off with some bench press, just getting the shoulder back into it. Still sticking to that pause. Worked up to a top on 165 kilos, which moved pretty easily. I did misgroove it a bit when I came down, so normally I try to aim for like just below the bottom of my pec and top of my rib area. This time I came down a little bit high, so like I came to the middle of the top of my chest, which made a bit of a misgroove and the press a little bit harder. Because I controlled it on the way down, it was still pretty easy to lock out. After that, I ended up deciding to drop down just because I thought, well, I've got to do my drop sets, and I wanted to practice a bit more of the pause and then do like a rep set sort of thing. So I've been doing smaller jumps just because of the injury. I don't want to like flare it up too much because I am having a bit of lag in power, especially through that left shoulder. It does fatigue quite quickly, and it tends to sort of just feels like it's an empty spot there. So I know it hasn't quite fully recovered, so rather than trying to just get straight back into it, I am just working a bit more on technique, keeping nice and tight form, and sort of just trying to raise my opener a bit. So like at the start of this prep, my opener probably would have been around 150 kilos. Now I'd say it's about 165, even 170, like with a proper deload and all that. So I am happy how it's improved. By the end of it, I do want to get hopefully my opener to 185, if not 190. So I have a fair bit of time till December, so just working on the small bits. So this is my first 140 here, and it moved very smoothly. This next one, there's multiple problems I can definitely pick out. So I didn't use any leg drive on this 165. I really failed to plant my feet where I should have. I did retract and then depress my scapula enough. I was happy. It was a bit better than last time's. But in saying that, my feet weren't planted correctly. I was sort of driving through my shoulders. It was just overall mix up. I wasn't letting it rest where I normally rested on my hands, as you can see too. So my hands are a little bit more bent back than normal. But it still moved fairly quick, even with those little mistakes, which are things I can just touch up before comp day, obviously. And that's something that I do touch up a bit more in this next set. So I dropped back to 140. Originally, I was going to drop straight back to either 100 or 120 and do my high rep set. But I thought I wasn't happy with how that 165 was not happy with how I moved it, how I placed it. So rather than dropping down straight away for the rep sets, my shoulder was feeling good enough, so I thought, well, if I try a couple of reps on 140 and try that control and work that method, I should be able to just reinforce that in my mind so I don't mess it up next time and just go through the cues again, because obviously with the injury I haven't focused as much on the cues as I normally do. So this one, a lot better depression of my scapula towards my glutes. You can see there's a lot more tightness through my legs. My legs are activated from the beginning, and I'm able to bring it down and just pause it and just pull it into my chest. That was the other problem. I didn't pull it into myself for the rep. I just sort of basically tried to push it away while going down gradually, which I think I wasted a lot more energy doing that. But no matter how much lifting you do and no matter how many years you get to do it, you'll always find things you can improve on, things that you lack in or lag. And then last set, I decided I'd go for 120 kilo set of 10. I ended up doing a set of 11 or 12. I can't remember exactly. I'm only just rewatching this now. I think I did 11, which was just a miscount on my half because I was trying to get through it really quickly. The weight felt pretty light. Towards the end of the set, I did feel that lag in my shoulder again, and I felt like I was losing power, which is something that I really do hope it gets better as the recovery goes on. It has been getting better, but it's still just a bit of a worry, especially when I'm coming down for the heavier rep sets, I'm worried that it's going to sort of just drop out, or that there's some other underlying problem from this injury, which I really hope there's not, but we'll just have to wait and see. I've got 2 weeks till I go away for my honeymoon, so I'll do a couple of sessions while away for honeymoon, mainly on the deadlift and bench, so like just working on the movements and keeping a bit of strength and a bit of just keeping that prep before I start the actual prep in September for the December 11 comp, which is a Christmas Cup, if I remember correctly. So it'll be good to finally be back on the platform, and hopefully I can pull as close to, if not a 400 kilo conventional deadlift, which would be a goal that I honestly never thought of, like I could reach without straps and possibly a suit. But after hitting the really high 370s, and I think I hit 390 a couple of weeks ago, I'm sure I can do it. Just got to tighten up that grip. Hopefully the nerve problems stave their stress on my body. But yeah, so after that, ended up working a bit more on overhead press, just getting that power back in that shoulder and getting that strength. And I think this is going to be the best way to reduce that lag that I'm feeling. So I did a bit of a different thing. So I went 60, then I jumped up to 80 kilos for a single. I then decided I'd do a rep. I did 2 rep sets on 70. Second one I didn't film, but did 2 rep sets on 70. So I went, okay, I'll jump up to 90, because it still felt very light, and I thought that I wanted to put a little bit more stress on my shoulder, because I'm not as worried about it like snapping or tearing again. And I trust myself to know that if it feels wrong, I can just drop it. And I wanted to get used to the new to lever belt. So 90 kilo moved really quickly. I was just surprised. I didn't use as much leg drive. And honestly, the press felt really good. With the 100, I did feel it. This is a third set on 100 that's filmed here, and this is where I felt the lag again. So this has made me think about it a bit more and realize it's more of just a fatigue and strength thing, and that because that tendon is still repairing, it obviously is not 100%. Like, obviously, even when you get better, injury still takes a bit of time to re-strengthen back up. So doing the incline and shoulder and overhead press is going to be the best things to fix that shoulder lag over the next 4 months. So after that, we went to barbell incline. My partner spotted me for the first couple of sets on 100, just working on just that bottom portion and loading up through that shoulder and getting that stretch. That way I don't re-tear it in another press when I come down to my chest, which happened a little while back because I wasn't warm. Then this, I ended up doing 120. I did 3 sets on 120. I had 2 spotted, 1 not spotted, which was just a set of 2 at the end just to get that last little bit of fatigue. I did these all close grip. Reason why I'm doing this is get a bit more tricep power and keep that lockout strength, and also work on that shoulder a bit more. And overall, I just found it a little bit more comfortable. Yeah, hope you guys